Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rich here, and I'm back at it with another video. Today's video will be a little different, and I want to give my thoughts on this real quick. We will get back to Donkey Kong. The next stage has, or the next world has, I think, 16 stages on there. Oh, I'm not ready to deal with that, but we'll do that when the time comes. Anyway, the title that you see in today's video says that Sony pulls discovery videos PlayStation users already own, which is sparking concern over our digital future. So I'm going to get my thoughts on this. If you're new around here, we play video games. Right now, like I said, we're on Donkey Kong 94. After that, we will play Sifu and then start the Spider-Man trilogy. So if you're going to want to tune into that, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and stay tuned. So let's get into today's video. Now, we have this topic right here, and this happened, I believe, over the weekend, this past weekend, which was like December 2nd, December 1st, beginning of the month, basically. And Discovery is pulling their videos library off of PlayStation from users that have already bought the videos and stuff like that. And it's a little concerning. So with this whole thing, I'm not going to read the article. You can read it yourself. The link for this will be in the description, along with the statement from PlayStation, which will also be in the description. This was PlayStation's message on this whole thing. They issued this statement over the weekend, this past weekend, basically reading, as of December 31st, 2023, which is New Year's Eve, obviously. Due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you, PlayStation Store. So just to kind of break this down a little bit, and there will be music in the background, just to kind of break this down a little bit to understand it. Basically, Discovery, we know what Discovery Channel is. I don't need to explain about that. Discovery Channel has, or still technically does, had the ability to allow people that have PlayStation accounts to buy episodes of TV shows or seasons of TV shows, and basically, buy them with money, with a card, obviously a PayPal or something like that, and then they could save it in their video library and watch it whenever they want. And you can see all of these shows here, and the list starts here and it ends all the way down here. That is a substantial library of shows that people are going to lose that they spent hard-earned money on. And the thing that's very conflicting about this whole thing definitely has to be that even if you purchased this stuff, which you likely did, if you purchased it, you're not getting any compensation. There's no refunds, no, maybe like a free annual subscription to HBO Max, because Discovery is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. They've been merged for a couple of years now, I believe. So they're likely putting all this content on here, on this list, likely on HBO Max, because that's their streaming platform. They're probably trying to do this whole exclusivity thing, so you don't have to pay for stuff on here, go pay for their service, you know, that kind of thing. And like I said, the thing that was just kerfuffling about this has to be, that's a crazy word, that you're not getting any compensation for the content that you paid your money for, and you're not getting it and any compensation, no refund, no physical copy of the show that you're getting taken from you or anything. You bought it and it's still getting taken away. That's very unfortunate and very worrisome, because things like this could happen again. Maybe it might happen with certain games or whatever at some point down the line, but it's just very, very odd to see this. And obviously want to get my thoughts on it with that. With digital, I guess I can get my thoughts on digital media for a second. Now, the differences between physical media and digital media, they're pretty explanatory. Digital media, we'll get that in a little bit, but physical media, things like CDs and VHS tapes, things that you own physically, that you keep forever, that you're in charge of, that you get to decide what you want to do with it, how you view it, when you view it, and if you have the technology to play that certain physical media, then it's yours and you can do whatever you want with it. You don't have any access, you don't have any restrictions or anything like that. It's yours. With digital media, when you're buying digital media, you're not really owning what you're buying. You're just buying a license to have that game. For example, let's say Modern Warfare 3 was a digital game, right? Let's just say hypothetically, which is not, that it only came out digitally on PlayStation. When you buy the game, you're buying a license to play the game. And basically, the fate of the game and the owners of the game are the publisher and the people that you're playing, or well, the people that own the console you're playing on, or technology. So Activision, they would own it, and then of course PlayStation or Xbox would own it. So you're not really owning something digitally, which is very weird, but it's very explanatory. It's very easy to understand once you get a kind of an understanding on that. It's just gonna be very weird to see this. This is probably gonna be one of the big problems in the industry, in the entertainment industry, music, even video gaming. This is probably gonna be a big problem for the rest of the decade. Not necessarily with this. This probably would be a small percentage of it, but just with digital media. Like recently, WWE Home Video, they actually are stopping their production of newer DVDs of the pay-per-views and things like that, starting New Year's Eve, after New Year's Eve, so new calendar year. And the last pay-per-view that they're going to put on DVD to be available to the public that will be new will be Survivor Series that just passed. Obviously, with CM Punk, he just came back after almost a decade after leaving, and Randy Orton came back from his injury that had his career in jeopardy, basically. And, you know, thinking about that kind of thing is just like, I guess people don't really care about physical media anymore. Well, certain companies, I guess the need for it in their eyes is gone, but it really isn't. You know, people are still buying physical media with music, with CDs and vinyls, and with TV shows and movies. They're buying Blu-rays and things like that. But it's very important to preserve physical media. It really is. Because things like this could happen. And as far as it goes with the gaming perspective of this, because I don't want this video to be too long. In the gaming perspective of this, could this be a problem at some point with gaming? I think it could. After what Sony did with PlayStation Plus, I don't even know why that's a thing in the first place. Paying to play online is just it sucks, but I mean, unless you have a PC, you have to pay to play online, which is very weird. But you know, as far as it goes with gaming, it could affect it. I mean, down the line, we obviously will have games digitally, like we currently do. When GTA 6 comes out, which, by the way, if you didn't check out the video where I gave my thoughts on it, go check that out. GTA 6 will have physical releases. I know for me, I will be well into work by then. But whenever GTA 6 comes out, it's supposed to be March of 2025. I will be getting the game physically. I'm going to get out for the midnight release, do all that good stuff, because I've never got to experience something like that before. Keep in mind, I'm only 20 right now, so kind of explains it. But when GTA 6 comes out, I will be in line for a physical copy and all the little things you get with it. Just a night that I'm never going to forget. And there will also be the option with GTA 6 to buy it digitally, which it'll be on, obviously, PSN with the PlayStation Store, and then Xbox in the Microsoft Store, and you'll be able to buy it digitally. There could be a point where maybe with GTA 5, you know, when that game kind of just gets nuked, they could just say, okay, well, since GTA 6 is going right now, we're going to pull off GTA 5 if you have it digitally, no refund, and it'll be taken out your library. And that could happen. That kind of thing could happen with certain games at some point. You know, it's crazy to think that, but with PlayStation and what they did when they raised the prices of PS Plus by damn near $10, I forgot what they raised it by. I think it was like nearly $10 to $20 for the full year subscription, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if they do this at some point, along with companies just saying, hey, like, you pay for this, so that time, you know, it's up, you're gonna have to buy the physical copy, etc., etc. So I hope it doesn't happen with gaming. It won't happen a lot, but it could happen with older games. I mean, we already have a struggle in gaming with with freaking retro games. If you want to play a retro game on PlayStation, there's no backwards compatibility. Besides, right now it's the PS4, so you could play PS4 games on PS5, but you can't play anything before that on there physically. You'd have to play most games that are older than the PS4 from PS3, 2, and 1. You'd have to play that stuff on an emulator, which you'd have to download, and like we do currently with Donkey Kong. Now with Nintendo, they have it a little easier with emulation. They have some games, but they don't have all the games. And you know, it kind of gives you that thought that companies don't care. They don't. At the end of the day, they will do what they want to do. And if it gets to a point where older games just kind of start sitting in the library of these stores, like the Xbox or Microsoft store or PlayStation store, the games will eventually get removed and people will not be refunded for it. I mean, it's going to happen, but it's not going to be a major thing, at least at a crazier rate. Let's just say that. But yes, preserve physical media, guys. After this whole thing, it's just tough. It really makes you just think like this will be a common thing probably for the remainder of this decade. We don't have that much time left really before we're in the 2030s, and then we're going to be talking about them putting some restrictions on them not being able to remove games or maybe compensate customers. Because the thing Discovery could have did, they could have at least said, okay, if you bought something, we'll give you a physical copy for free of what you bought, or you can get an annual subscription to our service, HBO Max, which is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. We explained that earlier. Do that or give a full refund. Like, at least make your customers feel valued. And I don't even think you're allowed to do this anymore with Sony. Sony actually stopped not that long ago allowing people to buy TV shows and movies on their consoles and watching them, saving them in their library. So, yeah, I mean, it's just tough. This whole thing is not PlayStation's fault, but at the end of the day, that's business for you, man. So, preserve your physical media, and thank y'all for watching. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. See y'all in the next one. Peace.